What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT, Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group, and I have to talk about this entire van life movement. Okay, this new trending van life movement. Well, maybe it's not new, because if you go back to the 60s, you go back to different times, a lot of people lived out of vans as they were on the move and they were rebellious, not trying to work in corporate America. Well, apparently you have a 2019-2020 version of this taking place, and it's being led by a lot of women. And of course, I'm not here to criticize anyone for doing this. This is not a video where I'm talking down on people who choose to live out of vans and, you know, people who are just taking control of their lives by getting away from debt. You know, I'm all about that. I'm Mr. DEBT. I am all about getting away from the stresses of this life in terms of debt and this, you know, just escaping this culture that's, I don't know, just addicted to consumerism and debt. I'm all about that. I got that. However, I want to know from you guys, how many of you would really consider living out of a van? I mean, we know, we saw the tiny house movement, you know, over the last 5 to 10 years kind of pick up, but then it kind of trailed off as, you know, I guess people realize they can't live like that. It's not saying that it's not possible. You do still have a lot of people that live in tiny homes. You still have a lot of people that just leave their big homes and then decide to downsize to a 500 square foot home and mobile homes. So I'm not saying that something's wrong with it, but I do know that you had a trend where that was on the upward trend, and then that kind of became less and less popular as time went on. But with this new movement, we're talking about people choosing to live in vans, and we're mostly talking about women recently from the ages of 20 to about 33 from the surveys that are put out there, choosing to, okay, I'm going to live on my own. I may even live with a partner, but I'm going to do so out of a van, out of a small space. I'm able to be mobile. I'm able to just compartmentalize all my things, so I'm not, you know, spending money on junk. I'm not carrying more than I need. I only have to pay for gas, and of course I still have to pay for food. It does have a bathroom in it. Some do, some don't. Depends on if you have a camper versus not. But no matter what, we're talking about people living out of vans. Now, there is a idea that's been put out there that some people are doing this just to become viral, just to be trendy. But I'm a finance person, so I want to speak about it from a financial perspective. I want to know if you, my audience, if you guys out there would be willing to do that. Or and I'm not saying that you have to be at a low. I'm not saying that you had to go through something disastrous from a financial standpoint. Could you live out of a van temporarily? Now, from the financial side, I can say that the savings that will come from living out of a van could be immense. I mean, if you're not paying on average $1,000 to $1,200, $1,500, even $2,000 a month for rent or mortgage payment, and let's say that expense for living is decreased by, I don't know, $900 to, you can even say $700 per month. Of course, that's a way for people to build up their savings and invest in businesses and get away from having to work a job that you don't want to have to work. I see the financial advantages to living out of a van. But here's something I do want to know. Would you, the person that's watching this, would you date someone, and I mean seriously date someone that was living out of a van? I want to see if there's a difference between what the ladies will say versus what the men will say. Or just period. I want to know. I want to know from you guys. Would you date someone that lives out of a van? I understand the financial benefits to doing so. I understand how it can have a certain level of freedom, especially if you don't plan on having children, you don't need a lot of space. I get it. In fact, if you want to take it one step further, I know some people that live in their yachts because it doesn't cost that much per month to dock. I know some people that pay maybe $30 or $40 per month to dock their yacht, and that comes with electricity. So some people choose to live on their yacht. And I'm not talking about a super yacht or anything, you know, extravagant. I'm talking about just a small yacht with, you know, a boat with living space. People are choosing to live on. I do know some people that have chosen to live on their yacht because it made sense. And then maybe for a month or two, when they, you know, don't feel like living there anymore, they don't feel like staying there, they'll go ahead and stay in a hotel or something. But would you be willing to really date someone that lived out of a van? I want to know, in 2019, is it a thing? And would you consider living out of a van with all the financial savings? Are those financial savings worth that lifestyle change to you? And lastly, do you feel like people are just doing this to trend? You know, is this just some type of YouTube hype, or, you know, I want to go viral hype, where people are just trying new, strange things to get attention? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk everything finance here, and I want to hear from you guys. Really, what do you think?